Something has been building beneath the surface of your life, and you can feel it, even if you cannot name it yet. There is a tension between where you are right now and where something inside you knows you are supposed to be. If you clicked on this video, it was not by accident. Aries, the signs are subtle, but the change is real. And by the end of what I am about to share with you, you will have the proof you have been looking for. Not the kind of proof that comes from the outside world telling you what to believe, but the kind that rises from within, the kind that makes you sit up straighter and say, yes, I knew it. I have felt this all along. There is a shift happening in your energy field right now, and it is not something you need to force or chase. It is already in motion. But here is the thing most people miss. When transformation begins quietly, when it does not announce itself with fireworks and loud declarations, it is easy to overlook. It is easy to dismiss the small feelings, the subtle nudges, the moments where something inside you whispers that things are not going to stay the same. And that is exactly what this video is here to do, to help you see what is already happening, to give language to what you have been sensing, and to show you that the shifts you have been noticing are not random. They are part of something much bigger. So stay with me through every single section because each one builds on the last, and by the time we reach the end, you will understand exactly what this season of your life is about, and what you are being called to do next. Tip 1. The restlessness you have been feeling is not a problem. It is a signal. Let me start with something that might catch you off guard. That feeling of restlessness you have been carrying lately, the one that sits in your chest and makes you feel like you need to move, to change, to do something different. That is not anxiety. That is not you being ungrateful or impatient. That is your inner compass recalibrating. And it is one of the most important signs that real change is underway. Most people misread restlessness. They think it means something is wrong. They try to push it down, distract themselves, stay busy so they do not have to sit with it. But for you, Aries, restlessness has always been the beginning of something. Think back through your life. Every major shift, every breakthrough, every moment where you stepped into a new version of yourself. It started with that same uncomfortable stirring, that feeling of being too big for the room you are standing in, that sense that the life you are living no longer matches the person you are becoming. And right now, that feeling is louder than it has been in a long time. You might be noticing it in small ways. Maybe you are losing interest in conversations that used to hold your attention. Maybe you are pulling away from routines that once felt comfortable. Maybe you are waking up in the middle of the night with your mind racing. Not about problems, but about possibilities. These are not signs of disorder. These are signs of alignment. Your energy is shifting, and your external world has not caught up yet. That is all this is. The gap between who you are becoming and the life that still reflects who you used to be. And that gap, as uncomfortable as it is sacred. It means growth is happening. It means something new is trying to emerge. The mistake would be to shut it down. The mistake would be to tell yourself that you should just be happy with what you have, that wanting more makes you selfish, that the smart thing to do is stay where things are safe and predictable. But you and I both know that is not who you are. You were never built for safe and predictable. You were built for bold and meaningful. And this restlessness is your soul's way of reminding you of that. So instead of fighting it, I want you to lean into it. Pay attention to what it is pointing you toward. Notice where your energy lights up and where it drains. Notice what excites you and what bores you. These clues are not random. They are breadcrumbs leading you toward your next chapter. And that chapter, Aries, is going to look very different from the one you are in now. Not because you are running away from something, but because you are finally running toward who you were always meant to become. The restlessness is not your enemy. It is your invitation. And the fact that you are feeling it right now tells me that you are closer than you think to something extraordinary. Do not quiet the fire. Let it guide you. Tip 2. Old relationships are falling away because your frequency is changing. You have probably noticed it already. Some of the people who used to be closest to you are starting to feel distant. Conversations that used to flow easily now feel forced or shallow. You might be finding yourself sitting across from someone you have known for years and feeling like you are speaking two different languages. And the hardest part is nothing dramatic happened. There was no argument, no betrayal, no single moment you can point to and say that is when things changed. Just shifted. Quietly. Gradually. Like two rivers that used to run side by side, slowly curving in different directions. This is one of the most painful parts of genuine transformation, and it is also one of the most misunderstood. When your frequency changes, when you begin to vibrate at a higher level of awareness and intention, the people around you will either rise to meet you or fall away. That is not cruel. It is natural. It is the same reason you do not listen to the same music you listened to 10 years ago, or read the same books or find the same jokes funny. You evolved, and your relationships, the ones that were built on who you used to be, sometimes cannot survive who you are becoming. Now, I want to be very clear about something. This does not mean those people are bad. It does not mean they failed you or that you failed them. It simply means you are on different paths now, and that is allowed. It is allowed to outgrow someone without making them wrong. It is allowed to need more depth, more honesty, more substance in your connections without apologizing for it. What I see happening for you, Aries, is a clearing. The universe is making space in your life for the people who belong in your next chapter. The ones who will challenge you, inspire you, see you fully, and hold space for the version of you that is still emerging. But those people cannot arrive if every seat at your table is already taken by someone who only knows the old you. So the falling away is not loss. It is preparation. And I know it hurts. I know there are moments where you feel lonely, where you wonder if something is wrong with you, where you question whether you are being too picky or too intense. But here is what I need you to hear. You are not too much. You never were. You were simply surrounded by people who did not have the capacity to hold all of you. And that is changing now. The connections that are meant for you, the ones that will nourish your soul and expand your world, they are coming. Some of them are already on the horizon, but you have to trust the process. You have to let go of the guilt that comes with outgrowing someone. You have to stop shrinking yourself to fit into spaces that were never designed for someone like you. This season is about quality over quantity. It is about depth over familiarity. It is about finding the people who do not just tolerate your fire but are drawn to it, warmed by it, inspired by it. And those people, Aries, they will change your life in ways you cannot even imagine yet. So let the old fall away with grace, and keep your heart open for what is coming next. If what you're hearing feels accurate, imagine what could happen if you applied this energy intentionally for 21 consecutive days. That's exactly what the 21-day program in the pinned comment is built for. Daily guidance, focused direction, and real momentum. If you're tired of staying in the same cycle, this is your structure. Tip 3. Your intuition is getting sharper, and that is not a coincidence. There is something happening with your inner knowing right now that deserves your full attention. You are sensing things before they happen. You are reading people with an accuracy that surprises even you. You are getting gut feelings that seem to come from nowhere, but when you follow them, they turn out to be exactly right. This is not your imagination. This is not wishful thinking. This is your intuition waking up at a level you have not experienced before, and it is one of the clearest signs that your transformation is real. For most of your life, you have relied on action. You are Aries after all. You move, you decide, you lead with courage and fire. And that has served you well. But what is different about this season is that your inner compass is becoming even more refined than your outer drive. You are not just acting anymore. You are sensing. You are feeling into situations before you charge forward. You are pausing not out of fear but out of wisdom, and letting your deeper knowing guide the way. This is a massive evolution for you, and it did not happen overnight. It has been building slowly, through every experience that taught you something, through every mistake that cracked you open, through every quiet moment where you sat with yourself long enough to hear the still, small voice beneath all the noise. That voice is louder now, and it is trying to tell you something important. Pay attention to the flashes of insight that come when you are not trying to figure things out. Pay attention to the dreams that feel more vivid than usual, the ones that linger in your mind long after you wake up. Pay attention to the moments where your body reacts before your mind catches up. A tightening in your stomach when something is off, a warmth in your chest when something is aligned, a sudden knowing that has no logical explanation but feels more true than anything you could reason your way to. These are not random glitches in your system. These are signals from a deeper intelligence that is fully activated right now. And the more you trust them, the stronger they will become. The problem most people have with intuition is that they wait for proof before they follow it. They want evidence. They want guarantees. They want someone else to confirm what they already feel. But intuition does not work that way. It asks you to move first and understand later. It asks you to trust the feeling before the facts catch up. And for a sign like yours, a sign that values courage and boldness, this should feel natural. You have always been willing to take the leap. The difference now is that you are leaping with more precision. Your instincts are not just brave anymore, they are accurate. And that combination, bravery plus precision, is going to take you places that pure action alone never could. So do not second guess what you are feeling. Do not dismiss the quiet nudges. Do not wait for someone else to tell you what you already know. Your intuition is one of the greatest gifts you have been given in this season. And the more you honor it, the more clearly it will speak. Trust yourself, Aries. You know more than you think you do. Tip 4. The desire to simplify your life is not laziness. It is wisdom. You have been feeling a pull toward less noise, less clutter, less obligation, less of everything that drains your energy without giving anything meaningful back. And maybe you have been fighting that pull because it does not match the version of you that the world is used to seeing. The driven one, the ambitious one, the one who always has a plan and a goal and a next step. But here is what nobody tells you about real growth. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is subtract instead of add. Sometimes the bravest move is not to do more but to do less with more intention. What you are experiencing right now is a deep recalibration of your values. The things that used to motivate you, the achievements, the recognition, the busyness that made you feel important, they are starting to lose their grip. Not because you are giving up, not because you lack drive, but because you are finally seeing through the illusion that more equals better. You are waking up to the truth that a full schedule is not the same as a full life. That being busy is not the same as being purposeful. That accumulating things, titles, responsibilities, and commitments does not automatically lead to fulfillment. And this realization, as simple as it sounds, is one of the most radical shifts a person can go through. Because the entire world is built on the opposite message. Every advertisement, every social expectation, every metric of success tells you that you should want more, do more, be more. And stepping away from that programming takes enormous courage. But you are doing it. Maybe not all at once, maybe not perfectly, but the desire is there, and that desire is sacred. It is your soul telling you that the life you have been building needs editing. Not destroying, not abandoning, but editing. Trimming away the parts that no longer serve the person you are becoming so that the parts that matter can finally breathe. This might look like saying no to invitations that drain you. It might look like clearing out physical spaces that have become cluttered with things you no longer need. It might look like stepping back from a project or a commitment that once felt exciting but now feels like a weight. Whatever form it takes, the principle is the same. You are making room. Room for peace. Room for clarity. Room for the new things that cannot arrive until the old things are released. And I want you to know that this is not something to feel guilty about. You are not becoming less ambitious. You are becoming more selective. You are not lowering your standards. You are raising them. You are choosing quality over quantity in every area of your life. And that is not a step backward. It is a leap forward. The people who truly understand you will respect this shift. The ones who do not were never really seeing you in the first place. So give yourself permission to want less and mean more. Give yourself permission to slow down without calling it failure. Give yourself permission to build a life that feels good on the inside, not just one that looks good from the outside. That is what this season is about, Aries, and it is going to change everything. Tip 5. You are being tested in patience, and there is a reason for it. Let me speak to something that has probably been frustrating you more than anything else lately. The waiting, the delays, the feeling that things are moving too slowly, that the breakthroughs you know are coming seem to hover just out of reach, teasing you but never quite arriving. For someone like you, someone who is built for action and immediacy, this kind of waiting feels like torture. But I need you to understand something important. This is not a punishment. This is a preparation. The universe does not delay things to make you suffer. It delays things because you are not quite ready for what is coming, or what is coming is not quite ready for you. And the space between where you are and where you are going is not empty. It is full of lessons that you need before you can carry the weight of what is ahead. Think about it this way. If everything you wanted arrived right now, this very moment, would you be fully equipped to handle it? Would you have the emotional maturity, the clarity of purpose, the inner stability to sustain it? Or would you receive it and then watch it crumble because the foundation was not strong enough yet? That is what this season of patience is building. The foundation. And I know that does not feel glamorous. I know you would rather be sprinting toward the finish line than laying bricks in the dirt. But the bricks matter. Every day you choose to keep going despite the delays, you are proving something to yourself. Every time you resist the urge to force things, to rush ahead, to cut corners just to feel like you are making progress, you are building a kind of strength that cannot be built any other way. Patience is not passive for you, Aries. It is active. It is a daily choice to trust the process even when you cannot see the result. And that kind of trust, that willingness to hold steady in the unknown, is what separates the people who have momentary success from the people who build something lasting. You are being shaped for something lasting, not a flash of brilliance that fades as quickly as it arrives, but a sustained, enduring transformation that changes the entire trajectory of your life. And that kind of transformation requires a different kind of strength than you are used to using. It requires the strength to be still, the strength to wait, the strength to let things unfold at their own pace instead of forcing them into yours. I am not going to lie to you and say this is easy. It is not, especially for you, but I am going to tell you that it is worth it. Every single moment of waiting is adding something to your character, to your capacity, to your readiness. And when the door finally opens, and it will open, you will walk through it as someone who is truly prepared for what is on the other side. Not just excited, not just eager, but prepared. And that preparation will make all the difference. Tip 6. Your relationship with money is undergoing a deep transformation. Something is shifting in the way you think about abundance, and it goes far deeper than your bank account. You are starting to see money differently, not just as a tool for survival or a measure of success, but as an energy that flows in and out of your life based on how aligned you are with your own worth. And that shift in perspective, as subtle as it might seem, is going to have massive consequences for your financial reality. For a long time, you may have operated from a place of scarcity, not necessarily because you lacked resources, but because somewhere deep inside, there was a belief that you had to fight for every dollar, that financial security was fragile, that if you relax for even a moment, everything could disappear. That kind of thinking creates a constant state of tension around money, and that tension, whether you realize it or not, has been influencing your decisions, your risks, your willingness to invest in yourself and your future. But right now, something is loosening. That tight grip you have had on your finances, that fear-based approach to earning and spending and saving, it is starting to soften. Not because you are becoming careless, but because you are beginning to understand that true abundance is not something you hoard. It is something you circulate. It flows to you when you are open, and it stagnates when you are clenched. This does not mean you should throw caution to the wind or make reckless financial decisions. That is not what this is about. What this is about is examining the beliefs you have been carrying about what you deserve, about how much you are allowed to have, about whether prosperity is something reserved for other people or something that is rightfully yours. Because here is what I know about you, Aries. You have always been willing to work. You have never shied away from effort or sacrifice or doing what needs to be done. But effort alone does not create abundance. Alignment does. When your energy, your beliefs, and your actions are all pointed in the same direction, money flows with a kind of ease that effort alone cannot produce. And right now, the universe is helping you get into that alignment. You might be noticing new ideas about income streams that feel more natural to you. You might be feeling drawn to invest in knowledge or tools that expand your capacity. You might be having conversations about money that are more honest and open than anything you have discussed before. These are all signs that your financial frequency is rising. But the most important change is happening inside you. It is the moment where you stop seeing yourself as someone who has to struggle for every bit of abundance and start seeing yourself as someone who naturally attracts it. That inner shift changes everything. It changes what opportunities you notice. It changes what you feel worthy of pursuing. It changes the way you negotiate, the way you price your skills, the way you show up in every exchange of value. You are stepping into a new financial identity, Aries. One that matches the person you are becoming, not the person you used to be. And this new identity is going to open doors that you did not even know existed. Tip 7. A creative awakening is stirring inside you, and you must not ignore it. There is something trying to come through you right now, and it is not logical. It is not practical. It is not something you can put on a spreadsheet or fit neatly into your schedule. It is a creative impulse, raw and alive and demanding your attention. And if you ignore it, you will feel it nagging at you until you finally give in. Creativity for you, Aries, is not a hobby. It is a lifeline. It is the way your soul processes the world. the way your emotions find expression, the way your deepest truths rise to the surface. And right now, that creative energy is surging in a way that you have not experienced in years, maybe ever. You might be feeling it as a sudden urge to write, to paint, to build something with your hands, to rearrange your living space, to start a project that has no clear purpose other than the fact that it excites you. You might be waking up with ideas that feel too big, too bold, too impractical, and then spending the rest of the day talking yourself out of them. You might be drawn to music, to color, to movement, to forms of expression that have nothing to do with your daily responsibilities, but feel more important than any task on your to-do list. This is not distraction. This is direction. Your creative energy is trying to show you something about who you are becoming, and it will not be silenced. The challenge is that you live in a world that values productivity over creativity, that asks you to justify every hour of your day with measurable output, that makes you feel guilty for spending time on something that does not have a clear return on investment. But the return on this investment is not measured in dollars or deadlines. It is measured in aliveness, in the feeling of being fully present, fully engaged, fully expressed, in the knowing that you are not just going through the motions but actually living. And that feeling, Aries, is priceless. It is the antidote to the numbness that settles in when you spend too long doing only what is expected of you. It is the spark that reignites your passion for life when everything else has become routine. So whatever that creative impulse is telling you, listen to it. Even if it does not make sense, even if you do not have time, even if you are not sure you are any good at it, the quality does not matter. The output does not matter. What matters is the act of creating itself, the willingness to let something flow through you without controlling every detail, without needing it to be perfect, without demanding that it serve some external purpose. Create for the sake of creating. Let yourself play. Let yourself experiment. Let yourself be messy and unfinished and gloriously imperfect. Because in that space, in that wild, unstructured, beautifully chaotic space, you will find parts of yourself that you forgot existed. Parts that have been waiting patiently for you to remember them. This creative awakening is not something to put off until later. It is happening now, and it needs your attention now. The longer you delay it, the louder it will become. So give it what it is asking for. Give it your time, your energy, your willingness, and watch what happens when you do. Tip 8. You are learning to set boundaries without guilt, and that changes everything. For a long time, you have given more than you received. You have shown up for people who did not show up for you. You have stretched yourself thin trying to be everything to everyone, and somewhere along the way, you lost track of where they ended and you began. But something is different now. There is a firmness forming inside you, a quiet resolve that says no more. Not with anger, not with resentment, just with clarity. You are learning what it means to protect your energy, and that lesson is going to transform every area of your life. Boundaries have always been complicated for you, Aries. On one hand, you are fiercely independent. You do not like being told what to do, and you have a natural resistance to anyone who tries to control you. But on the other hand, you have a deep loyalty to the people you care about, and that loyalty has sometimes led you to sacrifice your own needs in order to keep the peace. You have said yes when you meant no. You have stayed in rooms where you were not valued because leaving felt too confrontational. You have tolerated behavior that drained you because you did not want to be seen as difficult or selfish. And all of that tolerance, all of that people-pleasing disguised as love has taken a toll. You might not have recognized it at first, but the exhaustion, the resentment, the feeling of being taken for granted, those are all symptoms of boundaries that were never set or boundaries that were set and then abandoned the moment someone pushed back. But here is what is changing. You are starting to understand that boundaries are not walls. They are not acts of aggression or rejection. They are acts of self-respect. They are the lines you draw not to keep people out, but to keep yourself intact. And when you set a boundary from a place of love for yourself, not anger at someone else, it carries a different energy entirely. It is calm. It is clear. It is non-negotiable. And the people who truly belong in your life will not just accept those boundaries. They will respect them. They will be grateful for them. Because boundaries create safety, and safety creates depth. The relationships that survive your new standards will become stronger, more honest, more real than anything you have experienced before. And the ones that do not survive were never serving you in the first place. I know there is still a part of you that feels guilty when you say no. A part that worries you are being too harsh, too rigid, too demanding. But I want you to hear this clearly. You have spent enough of your life being convenient for other people. You have spent enough time dimming your needs so that others could shine. This season is about you. It is about honoring your own energy, your own time, your own emotional well-being with the same fierceness that you have always used to protect the people you love. Turn that fire inward. Protect yourself with the same passion you protect everyone else. And watch how everything in your life begins to shift when you do. Some people watch, others transform. If you want to be in the second group, the 21-day guide in the pinned comment gives you a clear step-by-step process aligned with your sign. This isn't about waiting, it's about moving. Tip 9. A door is closing behind you, and you are finally ready to stop looking back. There is something in your past that has held a piece of your heart for far too long. A relationship, a dream, a version of your life that you once believed was your forever. And for months, maybe even years, you have been glancing over your shoulder at it, wondering if you made the right choice, wondering if things could have been different, wondering if that door might somehow open again. But something has shifted, and you can feel it. The grip that memory had on you is loosening. Not because you are forgetting, not because it did not matter, but because you are finally accepting that it is finished. And acceptance, true acceptance, is one of the most freeing things a human being can experience. It is not resignation. It is not giving up. It is the deep, quiet acknowledgement that what was meant for you would not have left, and what left was clearing the way for something better. That distinction matters, Aries, because you have a tendency to hold on. You are loyal to a fault, and that loyalty does not just apply to people. It applies to dreams, to plans, to the image of the future that you built in your mind. When reality does not match that image, it can feel like a personal failure. Like you did something wrong, like you were not enough, like if you had just tried a little harder or held on a little longer, things would have worked out. But that is not the truth. The truth is that some things are meant to be temporary. Some people are meant to walk with you for a season, not a lifetime. Some dreams are meant to teach you something, not to become your permanent address. And the ability to recognize when something has served its purpose and release it with gratitude instead of grief, that is wisdom. That is maturity. That is the mark of someone who is truly evolving. And you are evolving. Right now, in this very moment, you are becoming someone who can hold the beauty of what was and the excitement of what is coming at the same time. Someone who can honor the past without being imprisoned by it. Someone who can close a chapter without needing the next one to already be written. That is enormous growth, and I do not think you give yourself enough credit for it. Look at how far you have come. Look at what you have survived. Look at the version of you that is standing here right now, still breathing, still hoping, still willing to believe that the best is yet to come. That version of you is remarkable, and that version of you does not belong in the past. You belong in the present. You belong in the future that is being built for you right now, one decision, one day, one brave moment at a time. So let the door close. Let it close softly, with love, with thanks, with the understanding that everything it taught you is still yours to keep even as you walk away. The weight you have been carrying from that chapter is not yours to hold anymore. Set it down. Feel how light you become. And then turn around and face what is ahead, because Aries, what is ahead is extraordinary. Tip 10. The person you are becoming does not need anyone's permission. This might be the most important thing I say in this entire message, so listen carefully. You do not need anyone's approval to become who you are meant to be. Not your families, not your friends, not society's, not even your own inner critics. The person you are becoming does not require a consensus. It does not need a vote. It does not need validation from anyone outside of you. And the sooner you internalize that truth, the faster everything changes. For too long, you have been carrying other people's expectations like a backpack full of stones. Their opinions about what you should do, who you should be, how you should live, what risks are reasonable and what dreams are too big. And those opinions, even when they came from a place of love, have been weighing you down. They have been creating hesitation where there should be confidence. They have been planting doubt where there should be certainty. They have been slowing you down at the exact moment when you need to speed up. But here is the shift that is happening right now. You are starting to separate your voice from theirs. You are starting to recognize which thoughts in your head actually belong to you and which ones were put there by someone else years or even decades ago. You are starting to understand that the fear you feel when you consider doing something bold is not always your fear. Sometimes it is their fear. living inside you like a guest who overstayed their welcome. And right now, you are showing that guest the door. This does not mean you stop caring about the people in your life. It does not mean you become selfish or reckless or dismissive of other perspectives. It means you stop making your decisions based on other people's comfort levels. It means you stop shrinking to fit into boxes that were built for someone else. It means you give yourself the same freedom you would give anyone you love, the freedom to grow, to change, to surprise everyone, including yourself. The version of you that is emerging right now is bolder than any version that came before. Not louder, not more aggressive, just more certain, more grounded in who you are and what you want, more willing to walk a path that nobody else understands because you know, deep in your bones, that it is yours. And that certainty, that unshakable inner knowing, is the most attractive and powerful quality a person can possess. When you stop looking for permission and start giving it to yourself, everything shifts. The way you carry yourself changes. The way people respond to you changes. The opportunities that find you change. Because you are no longer broadcasting uncertainty. You are broadcasting alignment. And alignment, Aries, is magnetic. It draws to you exactly what you need, exactly when you need it. So this is your reminder. You do not need a green light from anyone else to move forward. The green light is inside you, and it has been on this entire time. You just needed to stop looking at everyone else's signals and start paying attention to your own. The person you are becoming is already here. They have been waiting for you to stop asking for permission and just step into the fullness of who you are. Step in, right now, without apology, without hesitation, without waiting for the world to catch up. Because you were never meant to follow the crowd, Aries. You were born to lead. Tip 11. The energy of this season is asking you to become your own authority. Everything I have shared with you today comes down to one central truth, and it is this: you are being called to take full ownership of your life. Not partial ownership, not shared ownership. Full, complete, absolute authority over every decision, every direction, every element of the life you are building. And that sounds simple, but it is one of the hardest things a person can actually do. Because taking full authority means taking full responsibility. It means you can no longer blame your circumstances, your upbringing, your partner, your boss, or the timing of the planets for the things that are not working. It means looking at your life with honest eyes and saying, this is mine. All of it. The parts one love and the parts one want to change. They are all mine. And that level of ownership is terrifying for most people. It is easier to be a passenger. It is easier to let life happen to you and then complain about the results. It is easier to wait for someone else to fix things, to give you direction, to tell you what the next step should be. But easy has never been your style, Aries. And this season is proving it. You are feeling the pull towards sovereignty. The desire to stop outsourcing your happiness to other people's behavior. The desire to stop making your peace conditional on circumstances beyond your control. The desire to build something that is truly yours, from the ground up, with your own hands and your own vision, and your own unwavering determination. And that desire is not just a feeling, it is a mandate. The universe is not asking you to consider this. It is telling you that the time has come. The training wheels are off. The safety net is gone. It is just you and the vast, wide open landscape of your potential. And the only question that remains is what you will do with it. I know that can feel overwhelming. I know there are moments where the weight of that responsibility feels like more than you can carry. But here is what you are forgetting. You have been preparing for this your entire life. Every challenge you faced, every failure you survived, every moment where you picked yourself up and kept going, it was all leading to this. You are not unprepared. You are seasoned. You are tested. You are exactly the person who is capable of building the life you have been dreaming about. And the moment you fully accept that, the moment you stop waiting for permission or proof or the perfect conditions, everything accelerates. Opportunities that seemed impossible start becoming accessible. Solutions that were invisible start revealing themselves. Connections that you need start appearing as if by magic. Not because the world suddenly changed, but because you did. Because you finally said yes to yourself. Because you finally stepped into the authority that was always yours to claim. This is your season, Aries. Not because the stars are perfectly aligned or because some external force is handing you a gift, but because you are ready. You are finally, fully, undeniably ready. And that readiness is the most powerful force in the universe. If you have made it this far, I need you to understand something. What I have shared with you today is not entertainment. It is not something to nod along with and then forget by tomorrow morning. Every single thing I described, the restlessness, the shifting relationships, the sharpening intuition, the desire for simplicity, the tests of patience, the financial shifts, the creative awakening, the boundaries, the closing doors, the permission you have been seeking, the authority you are stepping into. All of it is happening right now. All of it is real. And all of it is pointing in the same direction, toward a version of you that is more powerful, more aligned, and more free than any version you have ever known. But here is the thing about transformation. It does not happen to you. It happens through you, through your choices, through your daily actions, through the small, unglamorous decisions you make when nobody is watching. Watching this video is a start, but it is only a start. The real work begins when you close this screen and face your life with the same energy you felt while listening. The real question is not whether the signs are real. You already know they are. You felt it in your body. You recognized yourself in these words. The real question is what you are going to do about it. Are you going to let this moment pass, file it away as another interesting video, and go back to the same patterns that have been keeping you stuck? Or are you going to draw a line in the sand and say, this is where things change? Because that line is available to you right now. Not next week, not next month, not when the conditions are perfect. Right now, in this breath, in this decision, the energy that has been building inside you has been waiting for exactly this moment. The moment where awareness becomes action, where understanding becomes movement, where knowing becomes doing. And you are here. You made it. You listened to every word. And that tells me something about you that most people will never understand. You are serious about your growth. You are not just curious. You are committed. And that commitment, Aries, is the seed of everything that is about to bloom in your life. So take what resonated, leave what did not, but do not walk away from this unchanged. Let something stick. Let something shift. Let today be the day you look back on and say, that was when I decided to stop waiting and start becoming. You have two options after this video. Close it and hope things shift, or decide that the next 21 days will be different. If you choose the second, the structured 21-day transformation aligned with your sign is waiting in the pinned comment. The energy is already moving, the only question is whether you are.